If you've been watching the Siege Captain shorts, you will have known that I have made my first homemade bowstring. This is actually my second. My first one failed. The second one isn't much better, but it actually works. I didn't serve the ends of the rope enough, so it's coming unwound in a few spots, but those are just cosmetic threads coming out. It just looks worn, a little survival bow. I made arrows. I made better arrows. I acquired a cheap, high quality, really nice wire feed welder. And let me tell you, if anyone tells you that you need to start with stick welding, don't. Stick welding sucks. Just get a wire feed welder. It's a little bit more expensive, but you'll actually be able to weld, okay? Like, stick welders are awful. I hate them. I don't care what anyone says. But the arrows. This arrow I'm gonna show looks a lot like the arrow I was shooting in the past, but
wow,
it's better. First of all, better fletchings, glued on kind of poorly. I had the wrong glue to start with, but these fletchings are cool. Oak dowel, a lot more sturdy. We already had one arrow break and we hadn't even shot it much, so upgraded to oak. The arrowhead I polished for smoother entry upon hitting, and I tried to harden the tip with some heat, so hopefully it keeps its tip a little bit better, because the other arrow was dulling quickly. I have 3 other arrows, but we will show those later in the video. So I found a way to kind of string this one manid with it still on the bow, which is really convenient because then you don't have to take it off. See, that's his helmet. Can you get that? I think it should have went more into his face. That's it. That's all I got. The Carthaginians are invading, and they have brought Trogdor with them, and a pumpkin to fling out of their catapults. But the Greeks have a secret weapon, their belly bow. First shot will be with this kind of a joke of an arrow. It's probably going to break after the first shot. I think that buried the entire arrow into the board, or the entire nail. Wow, that arrow actually worked. Will it come out of the board or the arrow first, the nail? A little bit of a bend in it, but I think we can bend it back and shoot again. I'm actually thoroughly impressed with this arrow, the Mosquito, I'm coming to call it. It went through a board and didn't break. This is just a nail hammered into a dowel. Fire away. Some good penetration from a dowel going into an arrow, or a pumpkin. That's enough of this silly arrow. Let's try something a little better. Next up, we have a remake of the arrow I was shooting. Pointy tip, hollowed rod on a dowel. Cool fletchings. I'm gonna stand a little further back. I know I'm not hitting where I'm aiming, but I want to try a better shot. What happened? Did my bowstring break? Oh. You know, when I put it on the bow this time, I saw it have a little frayed end where it rubbed. This is so sad. We're going back to the paracord. Life lessons. Alright, upon further inspection of the bowstring, it didn't get cut and snapped. The thing called a serving that wraps around the bowstring a bunch of times, it holds the last, or the top loop in place. You can see this curly Q thing just slid off. And that's probably because it was my first time doing a bowstring, but I did it by hand. I bought one of these suckers that is meant for serving a bowstring properly with the right force and tension after I made this bowstring. I could just reserve this and try it again. I'm not gonna do that now, because I'm just gonna switch over to a paracord bowstring and go from there. If you want to see a little insight on how I made that bowstring, I got a couple shorts on it. Go watch it. There's a crack in my bow. There's a crack in my bow. Oh. I don't know if that's safe to use. That's where the hinge was too, and I tried fixing it. This is what I get for saying how well things were going. Seems rather unsafe, don't it? I'm gonna try to get 2 more shots with my 2 cool arrows. But anyway, here are the 2 arrows that I thought were really cool. This oak one has a really thick broadhead on it. I kind of sharpened it best I could. And then this is a all steel arrow, so it's quite heavy. Thought that was neat. I'm gonna shoot this one first, and then we'll try this one. I'm gonna put a little less power on the bow as I pull back because we have developed a crack. That probably happened because my poor tillering and the way the wood grain goes kind of goes up and off the bow. This wasn't the best board selection at Menards. I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but now that I've built the bow, I do. Womp womp. Try again. Aiming this thing is kind of hard. That was exactly what I was talking about the bowstring riding underneath the arrow. This perfect day is being soiled. Oh, that actually worked. I cut a clean chunk out of it. You couldn't have asked for a cooler shot. Oh my god. That thing buried itself nicely after taking that chunk out. Wow. That's so cool. I want to try this arrow again. I really want this steel one to work. That doesn't look like there's any bend into it. I don't know what happened. Skimmed the ground. This is gonna be my last shot though. That crack is starting to make me nervous. Sad, but you know, it's my first bow. What do you expect? Whoa! I don't know what the assessment is. Maybe the arrow's just too heavy. It shot sparks though. That was kind of cool. Womp, womp, womp. So I'm guessing the arrow's heavy, fell quickly. I don't think it's riding on the string properly. Hit the ground, shot sparks, skidded in, came in under here, and the tip bent a little, but I'm gonna bend it back. We gotta go for one more, man. We gotta go for one more. The other arrows worked, at least. Famous last words, but the crack doesn't seem to be getting any bigger. It's just that one little chunk, actually. It looks like you can see it following the grain. It's gonna snap all the way down to here. Last shot, for real this time. Looks like I bounced right off the top. I don't see any damage. I think it just came in and boop. My arrow cracked. Ace broken. But that's going to do it for the shooting because that crack is getting bad. I'm going to try to throw this into the pumpkin. Ho! Probably going to wrap up the Gastrophetis. We'll see how I'm feeling. I really like this thing. I could build another bow. Now that I know what I'm doing, bow making isn't that hard. It's actually quite fun. But yeah, kind of a success. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, increase the interaction. I don't care about the numbers like I say every time, but I just want people to see these videos and find people who enjoy it, inspire some creativity, go out and build things, go ahead and siege the day.